So I just want to share a quick update with you. This is actually from, gosh, it's been a few weeks since I recorded this. So I'm going to do another one, a full session. For some reason, the recording didn't save for the whole session, so you'll at least get to see her go to the right and then a little bit to the left. But what I really am super happy with Colby right now is she's, obviously the stretch has been really consistent with her for a long time, and that's not really an issue for her, but seeing the way she's moving, the way her back's developing, you can see the muscle over her top line, especially just in front of the withers and like along her neck, is getting a lot bigger. The other thing I've really noticed is her hindquarters are really the like hamstring muscle that goes along the back of her hindquarter is really round, really strong. And when she is walking, her overtrack is up to 2 hoof prints sometimes. And then in the trot, I'm going to do another video so you can see it. But more recently, what I've noticed is her trot, she's actually over tracking now. So that before, like, I was really just trying to get her hind legs swinging enough so that she was at least stepping into the same hoof prints that she was making with her front foot, her front feet. So at least I knew, she's pushing, she's engaging behind. She's not just kind of dragging her hind end behind her. And now what I'm seeing is she's actually pushing so much. And you can see it really well in this video, her trot is getting very rhythmic. She's pushing herself forward and over her front feet, which is why I wanted to start playing with the pee-off, because I felt like, okay, we have all this really powerful hind end now. Let's see if rather than just, in the stretch with her being like kind of more downhill, can we sit her and make her a little bit more uphill by practicing with the pee-off a little bit. And the reason I haven't gone into the working trot too much with her is because I just get this feeling a little bit that she wants to be behind the vertical in the trot. And sometimes I notice that she looks a little bit, they call it like broken, between the third and fourth cervical spine, where you'll see kind of this little like pinch in their neck, where instead of this nice rounding, you have this tiny little like kink. I notice that a little bit in her sometimes. It makes me think that she is a little bit too comfortable going behind the vertical, and she has a little bit of trouble poking her nose out in the trot. So like right there, you can see it just a little bit. But I like this trot. It's getting really rhythmic. She's a little bit afraid of these trees. So when she comes past, generally, if I think she's like looking for something to be afraid of, rather than really pushing her along the tree line, I let her just kind of do whatever she wants when she comes around that side of the arena. We'll do that so I'll push her more on this side and then give her almost like a break, even though she's still on the trot, when we get near the trees, just to make her think like, okay, being near the trees means good things, a little bit of a rest. So you can see here she kind of pokes her head up, and this had been a thing a little bit, so I just was trying to get her a little bit more comfortable, and you can see a little spook. Just trying to reaffirm that there's nothing really bad over there, although occasionally there are turkeys around here, and the farm owners' dogs will run around, so it's not made up spooking. Sometimes there are things on the other side of that tree line, but so right now I'm just trying to get her, again, just comfortable going around, because she's obviously not going to stretch very well if she's a little bit nervous. And then another thing that I do with her to kind of, again, just reinforce that the woods are not something to need to run away from, is every time we go down to a walk, I try to make sure our downward transitions are by the woods. Again, just letting her associate rest with the tree line. You can see here she's just looking really consistent. So I let her have a break and come down to the walk. And the bugs have been a little rough, which is again why she's obviously in a fly mask. and I can't remember when I do it, but eventually I realized she kept reaching around to try to get at a bug, and I'll stop to help her with bugs too, and smacked some of them. But I didn't realize initially what was going on. She kept reaching around to the outside to itch, and I couldn't tell. But when you see it on this video, it's really obvious. There's two little straps that I attached the side reins to, and they're like just like twitching next to her barrel. So she's actually a lot of times turning around to itch at the strap. So I did take them off at some point, but I didn't realize it at first that was the problem. I thought it was a bug. But again, really nice active walk here. I love like the big push she has, the swing in her walk. She looks like she's, somewhat motivated to be working, like she's not just poking along. And I think since we chatted about the lunging the last time, so you see I actually started her on her hard side, and that's been a change I did as well. We always start now for her going right, because this is the weaker side for her with that right hind. So since we talked about that last time being kind of difficult, and you saw in the video she's having a hard time being on the circle, so we did a week of just in hand at the walk after that, because I was a little bit thinking like maybe she's sore on that right hind, and that's why she's having, like, no matter what I do, she alternating the circle sizes. It didn't seem to be really helping, so I just took a step back from lunging until I could kind of figure it out. And I think just helped. I think maybe that right hind was bothering her a little bit, and she was trying to protect it, and I was trying to make her work on too small of a circle for her, for where she was right there. But you can see now she's not trying to pull outside of the circle. I obviously make the circle really big. This is a huge arena, and we use basically the full width. But again, I'm trying to get another video done for you it's been really hot and really buggy, so it hasn't been really worth trying to get a nice video of a session recently, but hopefully this week we'll get something. And just so what I want to show you is that now she's able to actually work on a much smaller circle than this and still be really comfortable, and she's not trying to pull away, or she doesn't look uncomfortable lunging. Like, I don't notice, she just seems pleasant, seems happy. So I'm really, really relieved to see that we've been able to make that progress. But yeah, she stretches really nicely. She's just getting stronger and stronger. It's really fun to work with her. And I think ideally what I would like to continue doing is keeping her stretching in the work, like on the lunge line or under saddle, when we get to that point as well. And then working the pee off again, still in the stretch. And we'll see how she feels about that. A lot of horses tend to kind of come up, and they're being asked to do something that's kind of confusing. They're not going to stay like stretching down to the ground initially as she's learning it. Oh, and again, she looked a little funny, so I was just checking to make sure there wasn't something in her hoof. I think again, she keeps reaching back to be like, what is this weird thing dangling by my side? So yeah, I was just checking to make sure. I wasn't sure the way she was walking. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't something like a stone stuck in her foot. But I just love the way she just looks so relaxed and happy here. And I don't know if you can tell in the video, because I have the pictures from when I did the initial saddle fitting, but we texted about the kind of dip between the top of her tail and the top of her like SI joint, and that I think is much less noticeable than it was, a few months ago when we were doing the saddle fitting. But it'll be interesting. I'll take some comparison photos to kind of see side by side. So I'm just helping her get a bug here real quick. One of the things that I've also started playing with a little bit is some canter work with her. And going to the right is a bit discombobulated. She's not quite strong enough to like maintain the canter, and especially if I asked her to stretch in the canter, she just kind of breaks down into the trot. Going to the left is a different story. She can canter a bit to the left, but I don't want to get her stronger on the left. I want to get her stronger on the right. So I've just been playing with it every once in a while, especially, you know, if she gets a little frisky and spooks at the trees and then breaks into a canter, then I'll, you know, send her on a little bit and see. But so far it hasn't really been useful to work her in the canter at all. And as, you know, we do more trot work, she'll get stronger and then the canter will come together. So I just keep testing it. And trot is really coming together. At some point I realized that those little straps were bothering her and pulled them off, so she gets more comfortable and can stretch without being bothered. And again, this is her good direction, so things always look a bit more consistent, a little even more energetic going to the left. I think I've taken those straps off at this point. We'll see when she comes around here. Yeah, it looks like they are gone. So I still do quite a bit of walk work with her. It's the most consistent and deep stretch I get, and so it's just, even though, you know, she is doing the trot pretty well, this walk work is building her up and making her even stronger, so the trot gets even better, and as the trot gets better, you know, it's you know, even the walk work is helping build the muscles we need for her to stretch and have this nice slow steady rhythmic canter. So that's why I haven't really touched the canter too much, and I've seen it enough to know that especially this direction she will stretch and she puts together a nice canter. So I am going to put together a new video for you, and hopefully it'll actually be a full session, so that you can see what's been happening even since this video, which I want to say was like the last weekend in May. So I think it's been like five weeks since we did this session. So I'll put that together shortly. And as always, let me know if you have any questions at all.